Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amy and I'm currently on a journey to repay 6 figures worth of student loan debt. But you guys, that is not my only financial goal. So today we are going to be talking about financial goal ideas for 2022 and my tips for setting goals. So I just wanted to film this video. Honestly, I also just wanted to have this list for myself for future years because I feel like there is so many different financial goals that you can set for yourself. And it's really fun for me specifically on this debt-free journey to just dream about all the different things that we can do once our debt's paid off and once our focus is switching to different things. So I have racked my brain. I've talked to my husband, talked to a couple of my friends about ideas, about financial goals, what we can set for the new year. So these are just some ideas I just wanted to throw out there in case you are setting goals for 2022 and wanted some fresh ideas. So I have not put these really in any specific order. I figured we would just go through them and talk about them all. And so I'm not going to put them in like any different kind of categories. Number 1, getting rid of high interest debt. So if you have followed me for a while, obviously my channel is very debt focused. So one of our goals for the last few years, multiple years that we've been on this journey, is to get rid of our debt in general. So that is obviously another financial goal, is to be debt free. But more specifically, I think it's important to get rid of high interest debt. So I would consider high interest debt anything over like 4 to 5%. So some of my student loans would have qualified as high interest debt. I do have some student loans that are under 4%, but a lot of my loans were over 4%. So that was part of our strategy, was getting rid of high interest debt. But like specifically, if you have any credit card debt or anything like that, definitely you want to get rid of that, especially going into a new year. That is an awesome goal to set, to become credit card debt free or car debt free. We have not had a car payment since 2017. We paid off my car in 2017, and then we actually purchased an SUV in cash in 2021 this year, earlier in March. So definitely getting rid of high interest debt is an amazing goal to set for yourself for 2022. Number 2 is to start saving for a big goal. So what is a big goal? There's like so many that you could choose from, right? Like you could save for a house. So a home down payment, that is an amazing goal. You could save for a car. Like, what's your priority? You just need to figure out, what do I want to do with my life? Home remodels if you already own a home. So just kind of looking at your life and seeing like, what is a priority for me right now? Do I have debt? Do I have a goal that I want to save for? There's so many different goals that you can create. So number 3 is to create or increase your emergency fund. So if you don't currently have an emergency fund, I would say that this should be a number 1 priority for you. Definitely you need an emergency fund of some sort. Obviously the amount can definitely differ depending on your situation. If you're like single, living in an apartment, you don't own a car, I would say, as low as like $1,000 to $2,000 is probably enough for you. But if you have like a family of 10 and you own a home and like 3 different cars, you're going to probably want a lot more than that. So it definitely depends on your situation, but creating or increasing your emergency fund is an amazing goal for the year. That will definitely be a goal for us personally in 2022 as we head into being debt-free in 2022. That is like our number 1 priority, is to create a fully funded emergency fund. So goal number 4 is retirement. So this could be a bunch of different things. It could be increasing your contributions. It could be opening a Roth. All of these different options. How you want to do that is up to you. Just increasing your percentage if you have an option. So if you have an employer-sponsored plan at your job, another option would be to make sure that you're contributing up to your match, and even possibly increasing your percent more than that. Another goal that I know we will have for 2022, and I haven't quite finalized them yet, but that is a video that will be coming up in the next couple of weeks, is that we will be wanting to open a Roth for me and hopefully maxing that out in 2022. So that is an awesome goal. The max for a Roth is $6,000. So that is an amazing goal. If that is something that you are interested in starting to work on in 2022. Number 5 is to try out no spend days. So I think I want to do something like this in 2022. I don't know that I'm going to commit to like a certain number of days a week or anything like that, but I feel like trying to get a few no spend days a month is a really good goal, and it just helps you to try to track your spending and keep it under control. So that is definitely a struggle that we have, is our spending. It is always a struggle for us. I really want to try out some no spend days. So maybe in January I will do like a goal and I will post that on Instagram or something, but definitely follow along for more information on that. But a no spend day is just basically where you're not spending any unnecessary money. So obviously you would still pay like your mortgage and your bills and all that. I think it's really healthy to try to limit spending on certain days for sure, just because I feel like we can get into a like, going out, getting a coffee, going out, getting lunch, like that kind of like thing. I feel like I specifically have a really hard time with that, like just wanting to go out and spend money. So I think that that's a really cool goal. Number 6 is track your net worth. So tracking your net worth is something that we did for the first time in 2020. And I'm so glad that we did, because it really opened my eyes to all of like our financial room for improvement areas, and I feel like it just really made me more aware of our financial situation in general. So if you are not currently tracking your net worth, I would highly recommend it. Even if you don't put too much time into it or focus too much on it, it is really helpful to have a baseline number. So if you have not tracked your net worth, I would highly recommend getting started on that January 1st and then just seeing how you go throughout the year. It is really fun to reflect back. I just did a post on Instagram about our net worth, so go check that out if you haven't. But our net worth increased a huge amount during the year of 2021. I'm really proud of that, and I'm so glad that we started tracking that, because I feel like it really is a good measure of where you're at with your finances. So number 7 is invest in yourself. And this is definitely a goal I'm going to have in 2022. So this could be like going back to school. It could be a certification, or it could even be just like buying yourself a book or something that you want to learn or research about. It doesn't necessarily have to cost money. There's like a bunch of free classes that you can take online or do things like that. So it doesn't have to cost money necessarily. It could be as simple as doing research online, taking an online course. There's so many amazing courses in the debt-free community by all of the debt-free community members. The one that comes to mind the most is Jeremy from Personal Finance Club. If you don't follow him on Instagram, please go follow him. He is amazing. He has a course on investing that is awesome and amazing, and I highly recommend it. I have heard so many good things about it. I actually haven't taken it, but I think I'm going to buy it for 2022 for myself, because obviously once we are out of debt, that will be much more of a focus investing. So I have heard so many good things about that course. So definitely check that out. But there's a ton of different ways that you can invest in yourself. Also, I am looking at a certification for my job specifically. So I'm going to be looking into that. And yeah, I think investing in yourself, putting money back into yourself, is an amazing goal to have for 2022. So number 8 is creating a 5-year financial plan. So this is actually something that my husband and I did in 2020, and obviously one of our huge things was to be debt-free. So this will also help you prioritize larger goals. Like, where do you want to be in 5 years? Do you want to, buy a house? Do you want to pay off debt? Like, what is your priority? Once you have like a 5-year or 10-year plan for your finances, it will help you drastically with creating all of these different smaller goals. So number 9 is reduce your financial stress. So I know a lot of you guys can probably relate to this, but this is definitely a goal that I had set for myself kind of unintentionally in 2020. And ways that I did this was automating my bills, simplifying my budget, simplifying my sinking funds. That was a huge one for me in 2020. We definitely had way too many sinking funds and it was really overwhelming. And just repairing your relationship with money. So if you grew up like I did not have a very good relationship with money for many, many years. I was not really taught about money at a young age, and so I've had to kind of learn and unlearn things in my adult life about money. So just focusing on repairing your relationship with money is important as well. And financial stress is a huge problem in the US. I know it is one of the leading causes of divorce, and so for myself and my husband, it is an area that we really focused on in 2020 and 2021 and hopefully 2022 as well. Just making sure that we have good financial habits. And honestly, you guys, I have noticed a huge difference in my life since I started taking a hold of my finances. Finances used to be a huge stress for me. They would literally give me panic attacks, you guys. I would look at my student loans before we started paying them, and I would literally get like a panic attack. It was so overwhelming. And just over the last few years, my relationship with money has improved so significantly and has truly made a difference in my life. So if you are struggling with this, please make this a goal for 2022 and work on it. It is not easy work, but you can absolutely do it. And there are so many amazing people in this community that will help you and have advice for you. And if you ever want to talk about it, please DM me on Instagram, and I would love to chat about ways that helped us to kind of repair our relationship with money. So number 10, plan for your future. So this is specifically like creating a will. So this is one that I thought of because we actually don't have a will, and I know that it's so important. So this is definitely something like a will or an estate plan that I know that we need to work on in 2022. So I think this is definitely gonna be a goal that we're gonna focus on. We don't have a will right now. I honestly don't even know where to start. So if you have any tips, leave them in the comments for me. But I know that it is an important thing to have. So that is definitely something that I wanna focus on. Planning for my future, as well as like what were to happen if something happened to myself or my husband. I absolutely would not want to cause any undue stress or additional stress on my family or my own children if something were to happen to one of us. So that is definitely something that I want to prioritize and that I feel like we probably should have done already, but I know a lot of you guys can probably relate. It just was never something that was top of mind for me, so I wanted to mention it because I think it's very important. Number 11 is start a side hustle. So this is one of my goals that I had back in 2020. And I'm not gonna lie, at first it was very overwhelming to me to even think about side hustles. I felt like I was so busy and I just didn't have time. If you have watched my channel for a long time, I talk about side hustles every single week in my Debt Free Friday videos. So definitely check those out if you need side hustle ideas. I do a ton of different side hustles: Etsy, YouTube, surveys on the go, Instacart, all these different things. So many. I talk about them every single week. But starting a side hustle is an amazing goal. Any extra income is so helpful, especially if you're creating a goal that requires extra money, like saving for retirement or an emergency fund or anything else. It is definitely helpful to have any extra income. So definitely a great idea to start that. And then number 12 is save for your kids, if you have kids. Or kids in your life. They don't have to necessarily be your kids, but any kids in your life that you want to save for. So this could be like a 529 plan. It could be a savings account. It could be a custodial account if you just want to invest for your kids. Depending on what your goals are, we currently have a 529 plan for both of our kids, and we will open one for this baby when I am no longer pregnant, when he's actually here. But we do have 529 plans for our kids. That is primarily how we are saving for them right now. That is just kind of what we decided to do. If it's just a savings account for now, or if you want to go another route with like a custodial brokerage or anything like that. And last but not least that I could think of is open an HSA if you're eligible. So this is a huge one for me because we have a high deductible health plan. We have had a high deductible health plan for many years, and an HSA is a health savings account. So it is a triple advantaged account. It is tax-free. It grows tax-free. You can invest it. There's so many awesome things about an HSA. If you guys want a video specifically on HSAs, let me know. I do work in the benefits space, so I feel like I have a little bit of knowledge that I could probably share regarding HSAs and high deductible health plans. That is literally my whole job, is in the benefits realm. So I'm very familiar with these accounts. But if you have access to one, I would highly recommend opening one if your employer does not have an option. A lot of employers will have an HDHP with an HSA account separate that they actually will provide for you. And some employers will even provide a contribution to that account. So my employer, for example, does provide us with a contribution in January every year for our HSA account that goes directly into our account. So if you have access to one, definitely I would recommend opening one. Even if you don't want to use it for medical expenses, it's an amazing account to grow tax-free, and you can use it as basically a retirement account once you are 65. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. So next up, I just wanted to really quickly talk about my goal setting tips. So I'm sure you guys are all familiar with setting SMART goals. So if you haven't heard of this before, definitely look it up. It is really helpful when setting goals. I definitely reference this when I'm setting my annual goals. So SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So specific. So what do I want to accomplish? So this is a great list of all the different things, but like what specifically are you trying to accomplish? Why is it important? What's involved? Where is it located? What resources do you need? Like more details on these goals specifically, because it's really easy to set like an abstract goal. Like I want to buy a house, but like where, when, how, like what is the big picture? Like where do you want to buy it? How much money do you need? Like all these specific things. And then you can really narrow your goals down, set monthly goals, even set like weekly goals or anything like that that you want to set. And then measurable is how much, how many, and how will I know when it's accomplished? So if you just say, I want to buy a house, well, how much money do you need? When do you need it by? That kind of stuff. Achievable. So obviously you want to set goals that are achievable. I could easily set a goal that says that I want to retire when I'm 40. Is that achievable? No, absolutely not. So basically just setting goals that you feel like you can actually achieve. I feel like that is a trap that a lot of people get into with setting annual goals. Let's make it achievable and relevant. So why is this a good goal for me? Is it relevant to my life? Do I need to retire when I'm 40? No, it is not really relevant. I enjoy my job. I don't really need to retire at 40, that kind of thing. Like, is it the right time for this goal? So if you're saying you want to, save for retirement, but you're still in like $100,000 of credit card debt, that is probably not a super relevant goal for you, because you should probably focus on the more immediate goal of the huge amount of credit card debt, things like that. So is this the right time, and am I the right person for this goal? Is it actually applicable in like the environment that we're in right now, and things like that. And lastly is timely. So when are you going to do this? What can you do 6 months from now? What can you do today? That kind of thing. So just timeline. What is your priority? And also making sure that you're prioritizing your goals as well. So what is your biggest priority for the year? Definitely focus on 1 to 2 goals as a priority, and then have some additional goals as well. And those are the majority of my tips. The other thing that I did want to mention is to make sure that you check in with your goals often. So I post quarterly goal updates every single quarter. I have posted them all year. I will link my quarterly playlist above if you want to check that out. And again, I will be sharing our financial goals and other goals for 2022 soon in another video, so definitely stay tuned for that video. But I hope this video gave you guys some goal setting ideas for 2022. Leave a comment down below and let me know some of your goals for 2022, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye guys.